Thank you very much, Lucia, for inviting me for this webinar. I feel very honored, and I am very happy that this event is under the auspices of the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. So I will, if you allow me, I will share a presentation. So just 1 second. So this International Year was proclaimed in December 2021 by the United Nations General Assembly. The opening ceremony was in July 2022, and it will last till the end of 2023. The rationale behind this International Year cannot be better described than with this video. Sorry, just 1 second. Than with this video, which was made by CERN, starring in it my grandniece Eloise Goldberg, 13 years old. Now she's 14, but when it was done, this movie, she was 13 years old. So let's enjoy. It's a 1-minute video. I hope it will work.
Curiosity about the world around us is what makes us human. This desire to make sense of the world is the driving force behind fundamental science. Stirred by this curiosity, each new generation of scientists adds to the pool of knowledge built up by previous generations. We are at a crucial time for the future of our planet. Now, more than ever, it is imperative to use this pool of knowledge to help solve the global problems we face and pave the way for a more sustainable development. And we must not stop being curious. Future generations will be inspired by the knowledge we contribute today, equipping them with the powerful tools they need to build a better world.
So she is, as I say, now 14 years old, and she wants to become Formula One pilot. To add a little bit more to the rationale behind the basic sciences for sustainable development, basic sciences are curiosity-driven sciences. They construct the pool of knowledge which future generations will use for their development. She mentions that in the movie. Basic sciences are not always and everywhere considered as they deserve in the discussions concerning the societal, environmental, and economic development. Curiosity-driven sciences re-enchant our world and make it worth to be sustainable, a little bit like poetry and philosophy also. Basic sciences explore the soul of the universe. So this started in 2017, the push for the proclamation of this International Year. We got with time the support of 55 international unions and organizations which are part of the steering committee, 110 science academies, scientific networks, and learned societies, which make up the international advisory committees. The High Patronage Committee consists of 31 Nobel laureates and field medalists. We got the strong support. It is under the auspices of UNESCO, the support of the International Science Council, of the World Science Forum, of the Club of Rome, playing a big role now, the Interparliamentary Union. These unions, organizations, academies, networks, and associations are the foundations for the success of the year and for further initiatives beyond this international year. This is a real asset, and I will have, at the end, look forward after this international year. So these are the logos of the steering committee, unions, and organizations. Examples, you know them, but it's always worth to recall, to remind you of. Vaccines and treatments against COVID-19 are full of basic biology. The web was born at CERN from the needs of fundamental science, totally serendipitous discovery. Google research engine came from a brilliant mathematical idea. Artificial intelligence relies on statistical methods. Cellular phones are full of transistors, integrated circuits. GPS relies on Einstein's theory of relativity and on quantum atomic clocks, all basic sciences, guided by curiosity. Nobody knew that the general relativity and quantum mechanics will lead to the GPS. The Genome Project has opened the way to gene therapies. PET and scan and MRI are based on antimatter physics and fundamental atomic magnetism. Generation and storage of renewable energy depends on advances in physics, chemistry, and material science. Reduction in pollution and green chemistry rely on basic advances in chemistry. The second quantum revolution is having now applications, and nanotechnologies are changing the world. So as I said, it started in 2017 when I presented that to the International Basic Sciences Program of UNESCO. The resolution was first adopted by UNESCO General Assembly to recommend the proclamation by the UN General Assembly. It was welcomed, as I said, by the World Science Forum, the Interparliamentary Union, the Club of Rome, also ISC, and finally proclaimed by consensus at the 76th United Nations General Assembly on December 2nd, 2021. The resolution was brought by Honduras with the support, and I mentioned these countries because these are all almost developing countries: Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Bolivia, Brazil, Burkina Faso, Chad, Chile, Colombia, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Fiji, Georgia, Guatemala, India, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, Jordan, Kyrgyzstan, Malawi, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Qatar, Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Spain, South Africa, Thailand, Vietnam. This is worth to note. And it's good. This is what we wanted. So as I said, the opening ceremony took place at UNESCO headquarters in Paris on July 8th. Very high level attendance, 7 ministers or equivalent, 4 Nobel laureates, but also L'Oréal UNESCO women winners, young scientists. So a good mix. As I said, the closing ceremony will be at CERN in Geneva, not in October, sorry, there is a mistake. It will be in December 15 in 2023. We had to delay a little bit the ceremony. So there were a flagship event, one in Vietnam, one in Serbia, one there will be one in Honduras, and one which is going on in Rwanda. Global events like the Global Women Breakfast, regional, national, local events. More than 250 events presently in developed and developing countries. So the statement at the opening ceremony, which came out at the end, was the following. I read it, it's not so long. Basic sciences are curiosity and inquiry driven. They are the foundations of education and the sources of discoveries which turn into applications. They can then serve an inclusive sustainable development, improving global equity and well-being together with a healthy and lively planet. Altogether, education, discoveries, applications, and inclusive sustainable development can boost the collaborative and open basic sciences. This is a virtuous circle that we want to promote during the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development and after. To achieve this goal, we shall need you, teachers, scientists, entrepreneurs, and society at large, to share this vision and act accordingly. A decade of sciences for sustainability might be necessary, and this is the look forward for after the International Year. Global challenges. This was also mentioned during the opening ceremony and after. Global challenges approaches from components to system, from local to global, from short-term to long-term, involving open science and society at large, are a unique opportunity to cooperate and build a better world. This is particularly true nowadays, where we see new fractures, new divide coming out. The Global Women Breakfast was a success. It went all around the world through webinars. It underlines the importance of breaking barriers in science. Following further the current international mobilizations, laws and treaties should be enacted towards these goals based on a dialogue between all stakeholders, including scientists. In Vietnam, on science, ethics, and human development, scientific knowledge, technology, and innovation shape our lives, our imagination, our hopes, our fears. But beyond, it is a common universal heritage. Business as usual is no more an option. Every scientist, through his or her institution, especially when supported by public funds, and even if his research is curiosity and inquiry driven, must try to best connect to the society and should have in mind how his or her activity and findings could impact the world. This is responsibility and might be of interest for contributing to make it better and not worse. By the way, I see that ERC has implemented this rule more or less in their grants. However, scientists must be given the necessary funding and freedom. So this is freedom, responsibility and freedom go together, and the right to collaborate with the other scientists in their field to conduct the research, science for peace, particularly timely now, and be listened to at all levels of decision making and inspire that way the decision makers and the society at large. It is a balancing act to ensure societies trust their scientists and the knowledge they provide. Doctoral education should include in priority ethics, integrity, and sustainability. In Belgrade, Serbia, we had also a flagship event where we discussed how much all sciences could contribute to sustainability. Understanding that modern development is affecting our planet habitability is a Copernican revolution. Sustainability science, education of young people, which is multidisciplinary and integrative, should be implemented in addition to the standard STEM education. Sustainability science must be multidisciplinary, integrative, collaborative, co-constructed, and open. Open, by open, I mean publishing, open publishing, open data, open software, open hardware. It goes from very basic, so this sustainability science goes from very basic, understanding the planet habitability, the Earth system, to the 17 interconnected sustainable development goals. You know that among the goals, there are reducing poverty, improving well-being beyond just consuming, and targeting a global equity and a lively and healthy planet. So the application of this sustainability science could be equitable, diverse, and inclusive circular economy fueled by decarbonated energy. It could benefit for their organization, which is presently very fragmented, both organizationally, but also thematically and geographically. It could benefit from the models of organization in big basic sciences and from the IPCC and IPBES model of interaction between scientists, decision makers, and populations, along with a kind of a spider web structure, which, by the way, was used for the worldwide grid for the Higgs boson discovery. A decade of all sciences for sustainability might be timely. Basic sciences, although essential, are not enough. Possible resulting action, and this is almost my last slide. Implementation, again, I repeat, implementation of open access publishing for all basic sciences papers, open data and open software. Open science is more important than ever to go faster to maintain a global approach to science. Basic sciences can be the advanced front in open science. Promote equity, diversity, and inclusion into collaboration in basic and sustainability sciences. In basic, I think Ursula will cover this. The role of women is essential. Promote training and education to basic and sustainability sciences in developed and in developing countries. Connect all scientists to the actors of sustainable development. An international decade of all sciences for sustainability, using lessons from the models of mobilizations of scientists in basic sciences, should be proclaimed. We had an important event, flagship event, last week in New York at the initiative of the president of the UN General Assembly, where we promoted an international decade of all sciences for sustainability, and more than 50 countries, members of the UN General Assembly were present at very high level, ambassadors or deputy ambassadors. And there was a very strong support. And we think that there are many countries and a kind of alignment of planet with the president who put very high the sciences in his agenda and sustainability in his agenda. So there is maybe a window of opportunity during June that we get this international decade of all sciences for sustainability. By the way, when we proclaimed, when we say all sciences, we include all knowledge, including the indigenous knowledge. With this, I think I can conclude. Thank you again for inviting me, and thank you for listening to me. We can count on you and for all that, and we have to be optimistic despite the conditions which are not looking very good presently. But I think we must keep to be optimistic. Thank you very much, and I am looking forward to listening to the rest of them.